Or shall we start with you, Fred?
Thank you. I have very little to say. I just want to say that a few months ago, I said SHA will collapse in 6 months. For the last 4 days,
It has collapsed.
the systems are down. That is a sign of collapse. When Rigiji tells you that your wife is expectant, please buy some diapers. I want to ask our members of parliament in the National Assembly, those who believe that they serve the people who elected them, to be in the forefront in rejecting on the floor the 2026 finance bill. And the other side, the flower girls, or William Ruto, the flower girls, who are the majority, will want to vote by acclamation. Please be present to force a division so that Kenyans can know who voted with them and who voted against them, so that they can keep a record, so that next year, in another 14 months, they can pay them back in kind. So that is my plea, that please be present on that day so that you can force a division, so that it is known, it's on record, who has voted with the people of Kenya and who has voted against the people of Kenya. I want to support that the new administration next year will do away with the housing levy. And I want to put Kenyans on notice. You are being asked to start paying for these houses. Please don't. You just lose your money next year. Don't throw good money after bad. Keep away from those avoidable houses. Because next year, sure as December 25 is Christmas, William Ruto and his people will go home. There will be a new administration that will do away with the housing levy. So it is foolish and unwise to put your money when you know that chances are 9 to 1 you lose your money. Again, we have seen a lot of land belonging to private people being grabbed by William Ruto and P.S. Nixon Korir, especially here in Kiambu, where there are large tracts of land belonging to private people, the land being subdivided and sold hastily to investors. I want to put investors on notice. Please, don't buy this land. Next year, the land will be given back to the owner, and you will have to make a trip to Sugoi to look for your money. It is unwise to lose money when you can see you are going to lose it. All those large tracts of land, William Ruto moves at night with a torch, identifying land, and P.S. Nixon Korir, his tribesman, is the architect of grabbing land belonging to private Kenyans. And this land is being sold cheaply. And gullible Kenyans are buying. This will not be allowed to happen, and the land will be restored to the owners, and you just lose your money. So please, unless you have money to waste, we're asking Kenyans to be careful. And again, all those people who are being sold public assets, please don't buy. You will lose your money next year. Because it will not happen. All these public assets will be restored to the Kenyan people. And since we are putting you on notice, you will not be able to plead ignorance and to say that you bought because you did not know. Don't buy public assets between now and the next general election. You just lose your money. I thank you.
Well done.
Ladies and gentlemen, 4 points to be made in addition to what my colleagues have said. When we, in public discourse and public meetings, say that we are not just talking, the things we say can actually happen, we've demonstrated this year that they can actually happen. So my first point is, to the people of Kenya, we are talking about hope. Don't lose hope, because we will restore our country to where it ought to be. We will provide real free education. The fear I have, I've not looked at the most current data, is that our dropout rate in schools could very easily have gone back to the pre-Kibaki days because of the number of children who cannot access education. The figures we have quoted here and the savings we are making in the education sector are intended to remove all the barriers to access to education. Because for a country of our size that has got the aspirations that we have, we cannot afford to have barriers to access to education, whether they're in levies, in fees, and all that kind of thing. So all those policy proposals that worked effectively during the Jubilee administration will be restored. They will work. Edwafia will work, as we have demonstrated to you, so that parents don't have to be called and hassled when their children are sick in school. We will remove some of these irrelevant and unnecessary levies and restore capitation to schools so that school heads are able to manage schools without stress and without undue pressure. What I would like to say, I said over the weekend, and I reiterate it again, that on this one issue of education, it's necessary, and we are asking the president and his government. You know, time lost, a year is too long in the education sector. We can have an all-parties conversation, and we have demonstrated what can be done to save the crisis in the education sector right now. They could start with this year's budget and this year's finance bill and save the situation in the education sector. I have noted that the only change the president has been able to do is to appoint Mr. John Ololtua as the new PS as the Minister of Education. John is a good guy. He was my regional director of education when I was minister, but that is not enough. They need to have a different mindset in the way in which they are looking at the education sector so that we can save our children and our parents, and most importantly, our teachers from pain. Point number 2, discipline is destiny. There is no way we are going to manage ourselves as a country outside of effective discipline. The level of wastage in government is unbearable. You have noticed clearly from the proposals we have made that we can live within our means, we can reduce some of the allocations and some of the luxuries we're engaged in. For a government our size, for a country with our aspirations, faced with the challenges that we face, some of the things we do are actually very unrealistic and almost totally irresponsible. Point number 3, we are a democracy, and democracy is government by deliberation. Our colleague, the Minister for Finance now, or the Cabinet Secretary for the National Treasury, has been criticizing us and saying we are making proposals to the Finance Bill 2026 recklessly. And my answer to him is this: you put it forward so that we deliberate it, we give you our views. And that's why we are asking members of parliament that if some of these amendments are not done, then the bill should be rejected in total. Yeah. There are details that we have not gone into here. For example, if you increase tax on income from rent from 7.5% to 10%, all that is going to be passed on to tenants. The same ones who are paying SHA, the same ones who are paying housing levy, the same ones who are paying all these taxes. How will life be afforded? So we are not basically saying things because we are bored. We are saying things because we can see and we live here. And we are saying them in patriotism. And our colleagues, our fellow citizens who are in government, need to also, with the same attitude, the same positive view, take our proposals very seriously and take them in their stride and see what can be done. And I don't think, although Honorable Kalonzo Musyoka Rigathi Gachagua did not say this. I don't think that the United Alternative Government is opposed to a conversation. Our members of parliament who are in parliament, I'm sure will be very happy to have a conversation on how these measures can be changed and these proposals can be changed in Finance Bill 2026 so that we can have a palatable situation. He asked how I was in cabinet for 10 years and we passed finance bills. We debated all the time. We negotiated all the time. In fact, in most cases, we gave away a lot. Sometimes it's a give and take, and government should be prepared to go to parliament and sometimes listen to the members of parliament, accept to lose here and lose there, reorganize here and reorganize there and readjust so that we can go forward in a manner that is essentially bearable for all of us. Finally, I don't think we are going anywhere if we adopt this attitude, like I have seen in some of our government officials, of behaving like we don't have a right or a role to point out these things. Who are you governing? You are governing us. Na sisi sio kondo. We are human beings. We have views. And then when we give these views, please take them. We are your brothers also. We are not expatriate Kenyans. We are Kenyans in our own right. And we are telling you these things because we believe in them. And in that same vein, I would like to encourage our leaders, first from those who are in the National Assembly and in the Senate, in the United Alternative Government, to push hard with these proposals. Because all these things we have proposed here, if you don't take them to the floor of the House and read Finance Bill 2026 against these proposals, then what we are doing here is just a political exercise. So I would like to request our brothers and sisters who are in the two houses to carry these proposals with them and read Finance Bill 2026 side by side with the proposals we are making. And in the event that our fellow citizens who are in government will not listen and make these amendments, my recommendation strongly, like that of all right-thinking and positive-thinking Kenyans, is the Finance Bill then should be rejected in total. Thank you.
Thank you. Let me begin by acknowledging that we are always making history. Tomorrow, the 11th of June 2026, at 3 p.m., the CS for the National Treasury and National Planning, John Bundy, will be reading the budget estimates for the coming financial year. It will be the first time in the history of independent Kenya that a budget, national budget, is being presented in the absence of a sitting president. He is a president who has urged every Kenyan to tighten their belts, that we are in hard times. But he's the same person, same president, who is galvanizing all over the world in some executive jets at the expense of taxpayers, who is willing to tax up to their blood. And therefore, because he knows what is proposing in the finance bill is so painful, he has chosen that it better be read in his absence. And therefore, for my good friends who are in Parliament, we ask you, as has been urged, to carefully look at every clause in the Finance Bill 2026 and make sure that you stay on the right side of history. Propose whatever amendments you may, insist on a vote on each, and as has been said already, we'll keep a record. Never mind that the choir may be too loud, but just have a record. As you know, the house is a house of record. Yeah. You will be recorded as having been on the right side of history. Even if you are defeated, you will have earned your right to say what he needed to say. As has been stated, what His Excellency Dr. Stephen Kalonzo Musyoka has read here is an abridged version of the proposals by the United Alternative Government. But I would want to just alert you to one particular provision that proposal that he has made. The proposal on single treasury account, because it is there that we will realize a lot of the envisaged savings. No contracts to be entered into without a clear budgetary provision. That will eliminate the possibility of having pending bills, because you will not enter into a contract when there is no budget. And if you do so, as has been contained in his speech, a very revolutionary proposal is that if you are the accounting officer, you will be held accountable, because the Auditor General will point out that. And our proposal is, as soon as the report is tabled on the floor of the respective houses, you step aside until such time as the House will have cleared you. We are talking about an accountable government. And therefore, as I indicated to some of you who are here, I will be suggesting an amendment to Section 68 of the PFM Act to also include county governors to be included as accounting officers, because they have been evading accountability on the basis that they are not the accounting officers. And therefore, any adverse findings by the Auditor General, the report is tabled before the Senate, please just pack your things and wait. Go home and wait until such time as you will have been cleared by the Senate if you are a county governor. We mean business as the United Alternative Government. This and many other proposals, which you'll see when you read the full documents, are meant to restore dignity and accountability and return the country to the rule of law and constitutionalism. Indeed, as I finish, His Excellency spent a lot of time on the area of education. I would just ask you to just go and read. He made the reference to Article 53 of the Constitution, but Article 53 has been actualized on the 14th of January 2013 by the enactment of the Basic Education Act. And in that act, if you just look at Section 39, paragraph E, it is the duty of the Cabinet Secretary for Education to provide all manner of infrastructure. And therefore, what has been contained in this budget speech is anchored in law and is realistic, it is achievable. Just want to urge you, my good friends in the two houses, please reach out to more of your colleagues. Unless these amendments are accepted, reject the Finance Bill 2026. I thank you.
Well, we thank you. We've consulted here. This document will be made available tomorrow, so we will not receive questions. In fact, the Honorable Magara will be one of the discussants tomorrow in the media space, or others who are well schooled in this area. So I hope you can understand, because it's an important thing we have made before you. Very important statement. Please avoid any attempt to do securitization of the housing levy. We know they are trying to do that. so that even when we come and take over, our hands will be tied. Fight with your teeth and your nails if you have to for this country. We thank you.